Oh god, why do I do these things to myself? Welcome back, guys. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map, it's Juggernaut Jason, the Canadian Twitch streamer, and his opponent, none other than Avilo. Alright, guys, so we've got ourselves a Terran versus Terran. The map is Cerulean Fall. And, if I had to take a guess, I think we can already figure out whereabouts this game is going to go. No, but in seriousness, guys, Juggernaut Jason and Avilo have a little bit of a rivalry going on. Nothing major or anything, but all in good fun. There was a cool video back that Jason posted, like, years ago at this point, but I may link that in the description. That sort of just shows some of the antics that go on when these guys play, but it's a Terran versus Terran. I generally try and avoid casting the mirror matchups. Well, for starters, the first reason is not everyone is a big fan of mirror matchups, and the second is only 1/3 of people who watch Starcraft are going to tend to like that mirror matchup, as opposed to 2/3 in non-mirror matchups. So anyway, yeah, I just thought gotta cast a mirror matchup every now and then, and this TvT, I may never cast another TvT after this, depending on how it goes, but as far as this game goes, Avilo moving in with his SCV Scout, just checking for no proxies or anything like that. And then Jason opening up with a Reaper. So is Avilo. It's TvT, there's no surprise there, but Avilo keeping his SCV Scout around for a fair while, then starting a bunker on his low ground, which is definitely interesting. Although his SCV's hanging around quite a while here. It may just die to the Reaper, which would be an odd choice, but maybe he'll move it. That is actually interesting, though, how he's just keeping the Reaper back at home. Now, Reaper is gonna find and kill that SCV. That's probably just a stylistic thing there. Avilo on his side of the map, getting up the command center, so just going for one of those sort of safe expo builds with the fast bunker. I am a big fan of fast bunkers in Terran versus Terran, just based on the fact that there's so much heavy aggression and stuff, and a bunker really just shuts down a big chunk of it. Now, Factory is on the way for Avilo, but he does have a tech lab out to start things off. We'll see what he's going to do with this. He's making a Marauder to start things off, but no Concussive Shell or anything like that just yet. It's possible we'll see Concussive Shell. Maybe he'll just skip it, but the Marauder opening definitely is an interesting choice, whereas Jason on the other side of the map, going for the more standard Cyclone, made the two Reapers going into a Cyclone. I think the question that everyone's probably wondering is Avilo going to be playing mech? And that, of course, is a great question. But, no, yeah, I mean, like, Avilo, he is a very good mech player, no doubt. He probably, like, I know it's a bit of a meme, Avilo and meching, but he probably knows mech better than a lot of other players out there. Now, Jason gets on in with his two Reapers, kind of suiciding them in here. Gonna try and kill off Avilo's Reaper, but actually loses both of them before they get anything. So that's a nice shutdown by Avilo. That bunker, having his units waiting on the high ground, allowed him to get a bit of damage off and then eventually finish those units off. But no, yeah, as I was saying, Avilo, he's a player who, he definitely knows mech. It's not just a meme, but no, yeah, so Jason, on the other hand, he has been vocal about how he's had some trouble with mech, and watching some of the games he's played, I've even cast him a few times, he has struggled playing against mech. There's a few approaches you can take, but it really does come down to whether you're aware your opponent's going mech. Sometimes it's just a complete element of surprise how they'll go about playing mech. There's multiple styles and whatnot. With Avilo, you can generally assume that they're going to be playing mech, but then of course there's that one game which he surprises you with bio. Raven's on the way for both players, though. Jason starting up his third command center, Avilo starting up his own third command center, so far these guys are mirroring each other. And who knows, generally Jason, I believe, is a bio player, but for all we know, he's just gonna go for his own mech play here. Cyclone, Raven in the main base to be defensive as he's not aware of what his opponent's going for. Avilo, on the other hand, just staying safe with his bunker, Cyclone at his natural, dropping the mules. Building a Raven for each player allows them the luxury really to drop the mules. Jason is committing to bio though, so that's not too surprising. Opening up a third command center is pretty bold, though, that he's basically saying, all right, yeah, I'm going to macro up. I'm not just committing right to, like, a big 2-base attack or anything, which can always be risky and sort of put your back against the wall if it doesn't work out. Avilo killing off these rocks here. Not sure what they did to deserve that, but he's also just constantly sending out a unit here and there, just trying to identify what his opponent's up to. Jason with a beautiful line of Marines, though. Not a chance that Marine's going to make it up that cliff, but for now he's just going to hang out at the third base. Jason going for the double engineering bay. One luxury that a bio player has going up against someone that you're pretty sure is going to be meching is that you can secure your third base pretty quickly. The mech Terran generally waits a while before they move out and actually take the base. They'll build the orbital at times, but then wait a little bit longer before they float that out, just because you are more vulnerable at the opening when you're playing mech. So Jason, we'll see if he does just float over his third command center pretty quickly once this orbital's done. For now, though, he is just building up a healthy Marine count, getting up stim. His units are starting to move out now. He's just sending Marines in pretty much every direction here. Just, you want that information, and Marines are a cheap and effective way to do that. These two Marines having a bit of a standoff. Avilo decides to make his awkwardly back up a little bit, but I don't think he's going to be long for this world as he gets cleaned up. Avilo, on the other hand, getting up another factory, getting up an armory already, and building Vikings and tanks. Now, Viking and tank, it takes a while for the composition really to ramp up because tanks are expensive, Vikings are also expensive. But once you have enough of it, it is probably the strongest TvT composition. I mean, of course, there's like max battle cruisers and stuff, but tank Viking, the only way really to counter mass tank is to have air control or severely get it out of position. And if Avilo's just, say, turtling it, it can be very tough to do that. And so he's playing a style that can be very tough to deal with. He's also got out his 2 Ravens, building up a lot of energy here, which can be helpful. Jason got his 1 Raven, but Avilo really hammering on that air control. And as long as you have the air control as a meching player, you don't have to be worried about really being contained and then eventually choked out. Now Jason, on the other hand, still just building up his bio count. Avilo, he's got up his sensor tower, so does Jason. So these guys, like, two sides of the same coin here, really, as they're both just heading into their definitive styles. Nothing crazy happening yet. Jason is moving out. Once you've got that bio and stim, you generally do want to poke and prod your opponent. Because for Avilo, the question right now is, okay, is Jason going to try and, say, out-macro me by getting up, say, a fast 4th base, building up a lot of starports, or is he going to try and all-in and kill me? And Jason sort of poking around on the map definitely makes Avilo a little bit nervous, but Avilo getting up a lot of turrets and everything, just trying to be safe here. Jason, though he's sort of come on out here. Avilo's SCV does identify this move out, though, so Jason not necessarily looking for anything just yet as he is macroing up, but eventually he will want to try and bring down Avilo. Either that or macro up against him, and okay, maybe he's saying, yeah, I'm not going to be able to kill this guy, so he's getting up his 4th base. I think if you're playing versus a meching Terran, you got to be very aware of the Hellions. Oh, look at that. Avilo's Vikings pick off a medivac, which is a nice find there. But I think if you're in this situation as the Bioterran, I think go ahead and take the 4th base on location. Jason's building it at his 3rd base where he's rallying his units to, but it's not that much safer. But in my opinion, just like Avilo, he's not likely going to be moving out to attack right away. Of course, Hellion run-bys are a bit of a concern, but they also are at the 3rd base. So yeah, I think it would have been good for Jason to build that command center at the 4th base. However, he is really starting to be like, all right, I got to deal with this meching guy. So he's throwing up his own armory so he can get more upgrades, but also 2 starports. Avilo, however, one-upping him there, building 3 starports. So these guys really going to be focusing on that air control. And we could be in for a long one, guys. I knew what I was getting myself into when I was casting an Avilo game, an Avilo TvT at that, but look at that. There goes that Hellion run by heading towards the 3rd base. Jason, he saw that, though, so he's sending his units into position to intercept. These Hellions not going to get anything. But yeah, look at that, Jason. Like, he built his command center. The 1 Hellion run by that went out headed towards that command center that was building. So I think building that on location, for those of you guys that are looking for tips and stuff, probably a good idea if you are facing another Terran who's really just sitting back and turtling up. You can generally get away with a bit of greed like that. Now, Avilo, he is getting up his own 4th command center. That is tucked away in his main base because it does take a while before the meching Terran can move out and expand. But Jason's trying to move on in now, but I don't think there's a chance at all that he can really break Avilo here. Looking at this, Avilo just got a nice tank line up. Air count definitely in the favor of Avilo. 12 Vikings to 2. It's going to take Jason a while to eventually catch up and beat that. Avilo getting his plating upgrades, also focusing on his ground though, so there's a chance Jason can overtake him in the air upgrades. But okay, this is what I like to see. Double command center on the way for Jason. The one way you beat a meching Terran is that you sort of grow faster than them, because the meching Terran is really contained. They have to be very cautious about moving out. You as the Bio Terran have the freedom. Jason taking 2 command centers, I love to see it. I wouldn't even mind him starting a 5th base on location when he can afford it, because this is looking like a long game here. And Jason, yeah, look at this. It's not like he's spamming out bio and tanks at a huge rate anymore. He's really just wanting to overtake Avilo in that air count. He's starting 6 Vikings at a time. Avilo, on the other hand, though, making a few Ravens, getting up a fusion core so we could eventually maybe see battle cruisers. But Avilo being contained, having some minerals to burn, throwing up his own command centers now. We're in it for the long haul here, guys. Hope you guys are in it with me, because right now, this game is showing no signs of finishing up just yet. I mean, it could always happen in one sort of quick move if Avilo, say, accidentally moves out or something, but, or say, gets his tanks caught on siege, but Avilo's an experienced mech player. I think he's probably pretty good at avoiding those sorts of bad timings and whatnot. Jason will have 2-2s, so if he is looking for a fight, maybe now's the time. Okay, I like this for Jason. Moving out with his Marines. They eat an anti-armor missile, but, I mean, those don't deal any damage anymore, so you can really eat those all day as long as your units survive. Avilo, though, is looking to secure this 4th base, or I imagine he will be, sort of inching his tank sideways. That 1 Marine kills off a supply depot like an absolute animal. He's even got 2 kills. I wonder what else he killed, but Jason's still hanging around. Avilo hasn't been able to secure his 3rd base or his 4th base just yet, pardon me. I mean, he's setting up tanks, but Jason wanting to delay this as long as he can. Keep in mind, Jason's been on 4 bases for quite a while, so income-wise, definitely in the favor of Jason, and this is why I want to see him throw up a 5th base. Like, you got 1,200 minerals, get that 5th base on the way. For now that Jason gets poking and prodding Avilo, he goes to take an air fight, but I don't think this is going to work out for him. The players pretty much are equal on upgrades. Jason really committing to his air upgrades, which I like. Air count, though, 19 for Avilo, 16 for Jason, so Avilo does have the lead. He's also got his Ravens to support, but of course it does come down to that economy. Jason with the much superior economy at this point. We saw he was maxed out, whereas Avilo, not quite there. It takes the meching Terran a lot longer to max out. Lots of scans going down on both sides, just those red and blue dots all over.
Under attack.
Jason got a Marine on position, gonna delay this base a little bit. That's a very nice move. Avilo trying to double expand here. A Marine at each location will spot this out though. Jason getting up 3 more starports. Really committing to that. There we go. But there we go, a 5th base now landed. Like, if you're Jason, just take like 2 or 3 extra bases. That way, if say Avilo managed to somehow kill one or really harass one, you're fine. Avilo loses the command center though. That's a nice move by Jason, but Avilo still retaining the air control. 29 Vikings to 19, got himself a healthy lead. Jason may eventually need to trade out some of his bio so he has more supply, because this game, it could essentially just be building up to one absolutely massive fight. Avilo is securing up his 4th base, which is a necessity for him. Even as a meching Terran, they're very efficient, but he's not sit back forever. A few mines, waddle forward into tanks for Jason that are sort of lurking out there. Looks like Jason's queuing up some missile turrets, which I absolutely love. Anti-armor missiles and Hellbat's going to pick off a tank or 2 at Jason. That's a nice move. But I do love the missile turrets going up for Avilo. Just build a wall, you know, like really contain him, and that's exactly what he's doing. Avilo getting up another command center after you lost that one, but I mean, I think if you're Avilo right now, you probably want to be trying to go for a hidden base or something like that, just to be real safe. And oh, is that Jason or Avilo building one there? It's probably Jason if I had to guess, but there's a command center queued up, and I can't tell which Terran it is. Right now, these guys just testing each other. Jason, the one that's really being the aggressor. Viking count right now. Avilo's still got the lead. Jason's trading out. And I mean, you can trade out inefficiently as Jason because he's got the superior economy, but there we go. It is Jason expanding that base. Took that SCV a long time to get there, but if you're Jason, like, even if you can squeeze it out, Throw up another base or two. Just you always want to be doing that. You're free to expand, whereas he's doing a fantastic job containing Avilo, moving a few tanks in. Avilo, though, approaching maxed out here. Getting up a Thor, which I definitely love. If you somehow lose that air control, it really helps you out. Jason, on the other hand, just continuously building Vikings. He's still behind a significant margin, though. 10 Vikings total. Vikings are going to land to clean up these siege tanks, which is going to be a nice pickoff for Avilo. Jason, of course, has just been trying to pull Avilo apart. Now, Vikings come on in. Every unit matters in a situation like this. Ravens getting kicked off. That's an expensive loss. When those Ravens wander forward for Avilo, that hurts him a lot. He's forced to build 2 more. So far, we've seen Jason lose 26 Vikings, though, to the 5 that Avilo has lost. Avilo has lost 8 Ravens, though, and those are expensive units, so keep that in mind. But resources lost, Avilo ahead, Jason behind. That's sort of to be expected, but of course the economy, Jason ahead, Avilo behind. It's almost as if this is a biomech TvT. Now, siege tanks rolling on in for Jason, trying to get a nice angle. Missile drones are expensive too, so picking those off is nice. Avilo being contained back at home. Avilo needs to take up a 5th base, but like, if you were Avilo, if you could have squeezed it out, like sneaking out like a base here that you can mule or something, because eventually that would also really help you out if it comes down to split map versus split map. Vikings just trading out versus each other, but Jason's doing a good job encroaching on Avilo. Avilo's tank gets the first shot off as a few of them get close to each other. Looks like Avilo will win that fight. Nice for him, but of course minimal for Jason, really. He can afford to be losing a unit or 2 here and there. I mean, it's not really until the late game, until all the bases really are mined out, that Jason starts to sweat. But for now, he can trade out like this, and he's going on in. Anti-armor missiles go down for Avilo, though. Going to give his Vikings the benefit in that fight. Now he's stepping forward, looking for anything he can pick off. But of course, the Marines on the ground are enough to deter Avilo's Vikings, just sort of having to bring into the sky. Vikings trading on out once again. So many on each side. Current count, that's really what we're looking at this game. 35 for Avilo, 21 for Jason. +3 armor on the way for Avilo. Players will somewhat be equal on upgrades, but Jason has been very continuous or very consistent with his ship upgrades. Okay, and now this is what I like for Avilo. Finally getting up some Liberators. I almost forgot that these were a thing. He was just building so many Vikings, but no, Liberators can actually push siege tanks back, so this is nice for Avilo. Setting up 2 tanks, gonna be able to pick off a few, it looks like. Nicely done, gets those off, and that's what you can do with your air control. Avilo trying to secure up another base, but I love it from Jason, getting up an engineering bay, just saying, nope, 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 nope. As he blocks that off, just preventing Avilo from taking an easy expansion. The flagship of Mech flying across the middle of the map. I think Jason already knows Avilo is meching, but that barracks being given up now, just sort of flying across. Avilo saying, get that out of my base. I'm really cramped in here. Okie dokie, so both players are maxed out though, and this is where it can be concerning for Jason. If Avilo takes a fantastic fight, it'll be very problematic for him. Jason, setting up the turrets though, is really going to prevent Avilo from easily pushing out. Of course, Avilo with the air control is the one who can bully Jason a little bit if you say gets up a few more Liberators or something like that. Viking count, 47 to 30, this is just insane. Eventually, these players are just going to have nothing but Vikings. It will just be a great Viking brawl. Avilo has managed to secure himself a 5th base, though. This is kind of painful for Jason that Avilo has managed to sneak this up. Oh, and look at this, an air fight going down, but this is going fantastic for Avilo. Thors are getting some shots off from Jason, but they actually wander forward into the siege tanks and are forced back. Now, that was another fantastic fight for Avilo in the air, just with his superior count of Vikings. 57 have died for Jason compared to Avilo's 22. And Avilo's securing up this base. This is going to give him a lot more longevity. Jason, I think he just scouted it now for sure. But no, this is very nice for Avilo, able to sneak this base up. He was trying to secure another one on the right, and that goes down. That's an expensive command center loss. Jason, I'd like to see him secure another base or 2. He's maxed out. He's got the money. Just throw up a command center. It prevents Avilo from sneaking up to the base. It really just allows your economy to flow and flow. But worker-wise, Jason is ahead, so Avilo will, in theory, have the higher maxed out supply, and he does have that now. Liberator moving forward for Avilo, wanting to land on top. This Vikings for Jason looks like they're going to pop it off, but not for free. Avilo, though, he's got to repair this planetary. The tanks for Jason have been firing away, and no, I like this for Jason, loading his throwers up into the medivacs. Avilo has a lot of injured Vikings. He hasn't been repairing them, so that's painful for him. Avilo trying to secure this base on the right, but Jason with enough bio coming on in. Looks like he'll be able to shut it down. There's practically nothing in the sky or on the ground for Avilo. Vikings land, though. They can do that. They're going to land here, start cleaning up pretty much everything, but the base still does go down. Avilo immediately starts floating over another one. Actually, floating over is natural, so it's not like Avilo had a ton of command center surplus. And Jason may actually just be setting his sights on this base. Avilo is repairing the tank, firing away a little bit. Avilo needs to do something. Viking count, he's got 52. I'd love to see him repair his Vikings because they are looking mighty red. There's a fair few of them that are looking real bad in that. So a few SCVs off the line to repair, that would be very nice to see. But Jason really setting his sights on the space. Avilo's securing it now, though. The other base on the right, man to that. Just repairing this planetary for 2 days. Alright, now the question is, what does Avilo do? How many tanks does Avilo have? Avilo currently on 9 tanks. Not a massive number, but enough to shut down most amounts of bio. Jason, on the other hand, getting up not much since he's maxed out and just choking Avilo out. Ghost Academy on the way for Jason. Okay, is he gonna start nuking? But he does manage to pick off this base, which is very nice for him. But keep in mind, Avilo with a much higher army supply. Both these players pretty much maxed out, but oh my gosh, look at all these Vikings there. This is just probably the biggest Viking army I've ever seen. 54 Vikings for Avilo. That's like 2 longboats worth of Vikings. Okay, Vikings hanging around for Jason is slightly or significantly less number. Avilo now stepping forward, wanting to siege up his tank. Push forward a little bit. He's going to be picking off a fair few of Jason's units. Got to be careful not to bleed up too many of his own, but does take a little bit of a bite out of Jason there. Jason built an engineering bay on the right-hand side. I love to see that. I don't know about you guys, but I honestly love this kind of game. It's just, the longer a game is, the better it is, in my opinion, in Starcraft 2. Even when it was massive or most of the stuff, I loved it. I'm not afraid to admit it. But, Jason, of course, taking the passive approach. Oh my god, there's a planetary. And it just killed an SCV. A friendly SCV. And now Jason is getting up nukes, so we could actually be seeing some nukes land on him. Does he have a ghost out yet? He has not built a ghost yet. But once those nukes are done, he's going to be able to freely fire those. Jason, with his smaller number of Vikings, 35 to 52, can't push into Avilo for that reason. Jason probably feeling anxious that Avilo has built up to this strong army, but it's not like he's tagging into battle cruisers or anything even sort of more scary. So I mean, what you see is what you get as far as Avilo goes for now. Jason, though, just with the better economy, going to be able to remax, trade out more units and whatnot. Avilo hasn't got his extra ship weapons as well. He's only on +2 ship weapons, which I think is a bit of a mistake. Viking for Jason landing. Not sure he's going to be along for this world. Oh, Vikings are engaging here. Anti-armor missiles going down, but Avilo taking the better fight there, getting 1 or 2 more volleys off, I think. And oh, look at this. Avilo just sending his Vikings over here on the right side. Going to land a few, kill off a few SCVs. That command center could be in trouble. Avilo does have to be careful. But even with some of his Vikings landed, I think he's got the spear count. He's going to... Uh-oh. Avilo will be losing 6 Vikings here. That's a pretty significant misstep for someone who's meching. So his own Vikings are going to be caught. And Avilo is really starting to mine out all of his bases, so he will eventually need to secure another, but Jason really has set up in the center of the map. He's secured a good chunk of his own bases. He's got a fantastic economy where Avilo certainly does not. He wanted to secure this base on the right, but first the eBay being a nuisance, now this Viking raining bullets all over the floor. And suddenly Avilo's fleet flies on over. Viking does indeed go down. So Avilo should be able to secure the space, but oh, look at this, Jason getting ready to nuke. And there he goes, a nuke being called down on that planetary fortress. Another nuke actually being called down. Oh, okay, we're getting a 2-for-1. I believe it's just the 2, but there's one. Ooh, kills off a lot of those SCVs transferring. The other planetary under fire, or eats the nuke. Killing off a sensor tower, definitely worth it. Avilo, another nuke on the map. He's gonna have to move those tanks or lose them, and Avilo can't afford to be losing things. Jason can afford to launch 31 nukes at Avilo right now if he so wish. But Jason just trying to find out a way to kill Avilo. Avilo may just honestly go for it or something here. A nuke going down. Another nuke going down. Avilo's going onto these turrets though. He's eaten a fair few shots. Gotta be careful. Auto turrets going down to clean up these missile turrets. Nukes have been going down on all sides of the map here. He's trying to break out. These nukes really are pressuring him now. Avilo has secured this base to the right. Tanks. Oh, are they going to clean up that ghost? Yes, they are indeed. So Avilo not eating a nuke there. Lands his Viking is going to be pushing forward. Jason's base on the right side could be in a bit of trouble, but now Jason actually committing into Avilo now. Tank's taking shots off on this army, but it's not that big of an army. So Avilo's going to go back. We'll see if he's able to clean this up. However, he's looking rather broke now. His economy not that great. He's down to 22 workers. Jason's stimming on into the center here. Has this just been the slow death of Avilo? Jason with such a huge bank. Nukes going down left and right. Few of Avilo's Vikings get caught, and while he had that higher number, he's not going to be able to replace it. Now landing all sorts of Vikings to clean up the army of Jason. So nicely done there. Jason's own Vikings landed on the ground, hanging around. Vikings aren't bad versus mech, or versus buildings ever since they got the plus mechanical. Are we going to see these Vikings fight each other on the ground or in the sky? Good EMPs go down for Jason. Avilo lifting all of his Vikings up, but this is looking pretty rough for Avilo now. Jason, he's starting to take the lead in the Vikings, or will be, since he's producing like 10 at a time. And he can really just afford to trade this out, where Avilo cannot. Avilo's making 3 SCVs at a time since he really took a blow to his economy, but here comes in Double Ghost, gonna be looking for some nukes perhaps. There's that double nuke on the right side. Avilo's pushing on in. Tanks are set up. There's a nuke on the army of Avilo. Vikings are fighting. The nuke, or the ghosts actually had anti-armor missile or interference matrix go off on them, so that's not happening. But look at this, Avilo trying to crash through Jason. He picks off the planetary, breaks on through. Needs to scan to kill off those ghosts, but he did manage to break through Jason. However, I'm not sure he's going to have the follow-up army to deal with this. His tanks are not sieged right now. They're sieging now. He's trading out with Jason's arrow. He's going to land his Vikings. He's breaking on out now. Stepping forward into some tank fire, though. That's going to hurt. His Viking count has dwindled. His supply is down to 59. He's not mining on the right side since it's been getting nuked repeatedly. And just resources lost. They're pretty good for Avilo, but he's moving out now, and I think this is going to be his sort of last hurrah, but Jason's been the player who's been able to remax Avilo. He's going to need to take a wondrous fight. Setting up his tanks, so Vikings on the ground. Jason doesn't have anything that's going to help him out versus these siege tanks. Really, you need Liberators since he's now the one with the air control. Jason's setting up his own tanks, and I don't think Avilo's going to be able to break through that, but Avilo secured another base here, or at least floated one over. I don't know if it's really secure. But Jason still just rebuilding his army here. He sees that Avilo is unsieged. A lot of the Vikings from Avilo are going to be caught. Jason's stimming forward. Tanks are getting set up on all sides, but Avilo's army is falling. Jason lands on top of everything, and Avilo falls. Okay, GG. That was a long one, guys. I mean, a long TvT. But it was still a good one to watch. It was good educational TvT. Jason, pardon me, showing us how you deal with that sort of mech. But, yeah, I think maybe if Jason took like 1 or 2 command centers, that's the only thing I'd like. Because, I mean, you have the map, he built an engineering bay and a turret. Why not a command center there? You know? Then you never worry about your economy. But no, Jason, he just did what he needed to do. He had the better economy. On a map like Cerulean Fall, it can sort of backfire for the meching Terran because there's so many bases for your opponent to take. So while you're on 4 bases, your opponent can be on, like, say, 6 or 7. But no, I mean, good effort by Avilo, but in the end, he was just sort of getting nuked and pulled apart left and right. Jason did a good job eventually falling him. Didn't quite reach that fully comfortable meching Terran zone. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. If you enjoy the content and you stayed all the way to the end, I think that means if you haven't, you should subscribe. Trying to break that 1,500 subscriber mark. But regardless, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.